Okay, you guys are in for a real treat. You know how usually I show you truck stops all over the US and Canada? Well, the ones I showed you in the US, they're pretty much, standard, big parking, lots of facilities. Now, here's a typical Canadian truck stop. There's no buildings on this side. There's air for cleaning your cab. Over there we have fuel pumps. This is called Irving. And the fuel desk, lots of bucks here. The fuel desk I would assume is somewhere there, but if you don't have a fuel card, you're pretty much screwed because there's no attendant. And over there you have your motel. So if you fed up with sleeping inside your truck, that's where you go. But first you have to find someone in this building. So I don't know, how do you do that? Now things look slightly better on the other side of the road. Over there it's lots of bright colors, and that's Petro-Canada, probably a direct competitor to Irving. And over there you have a restaurant, and evidently it's called the Debonnaire du Chef. Okay, and I just spent some 20 bucks in there, and the lady does not speak a word of English. Well, she knows the word chicken. So we were basically talking, lots of bucks here. I remember, jeez. And it's not mosquitoes. These are just, those pests that, just bugs, that try to bug you, That's why they're called bugs. Anyway, so it was funny how we try to communicate. I know there's a soup, right? They just spell it with an E at the end, mute E, soup. And then you just try to read whatever the menu says. And this one was, what's that? Like bean soup, basically. And the trick is that in French, they put the adjective behind the noun. Let's say if it's a bean soup, it'll say soup, and then the word for the bean. I forgot, it's legume. Like that English word, only they spell it with a couple of extra sounds. And so I look at the board and I say, okay, soup, and then I open the menu, and it's all in French, and I see salad, but of course they pronounce it salad or salad. I don't know. I said chicken, chicken, give me a chicken salad. And she understands chicken. They all know chicken. And then one problem I often have. I probably seem crazy to you because you cannot see these bugs on the camera. I'm pretty sure because they're very small. But I think they like my, when you start sweating a little. The biggest problem I always have is with eggs. They don't know how to. They don't understand the simple word egg, and you try to show them various gestures. They don't know. So then all I do is usually in the menu there's a picture, and I see eggs, and I just use my index finger, and now I know that it's O-E-U-F. And I said, okay, what is this? How do you say this? And she says earth, earth. So now I know that eggs is earth. And I went as far as I was able to order a chicken salad with, I said, two eggs. And she said, earth? I said, yeah, earth. And then I try to tell her that I want them, like, Jesus. Typical Canadian truck stop. I said, I try to tell her that I want over easy eggs, but that's not possible to translate. And what I ended up having was she brought me a salad with cold chicken, kind of like a deli chicken already, not even warmed up. A couple of tomatoes, mostly lettuce. That's what happens when you don't speak the language. And eggs were there for sure, earth. But those earth, they were, you know, pickled earth, pickled eggs, and they just cut them in four. And she said, and actually I remember she looked at me kind of strange, the server, and she said, Jesus, all kinds of bugs, look at this. There's a huge bug in there. It was trying to crawl right into my camera. It's amazing. It's funny that, and there's no mosquitoes here, you know, there's no mosquitoes. It's just these, you know, bugs, whatever you call them. And also all trees. And oh, there's some civilians living there. And I try to use, yeah, so she brought me pickled eggs, you know. And oh, and the gas here, I don't know about the diesel, but the gas is 138 per liter, which translated into US gallons would be around $5. $5 per gallon. But evidently that does not stop all these guys here that drive pickup trucks. Jesus, you know, I couldn't drive, I couldn't own a, oh, actually, I think you can see those bugs. You see the, that's a, you know, those things in front of the screen of the display. See, it's awful. I cannot even open the window. It's good that I have those, you know, nets. So make sure when you get a truck, always spec those mosquito nets, because without them, for example, now I cannot sit inside the truck, and it's too hot. Well, it's not too hot. It's probably about, I don't know, maybe 50 Fahrenheit. You know, like 15 Celsius. But oh, and one more thing that happened to me. So this is Dore, Quebec, and this is the second part of my last delivery, right? So my first delivery was in, in where was it? Cabano, Quebec, right? And then I had to drive about 3 hours north, or more like 4 hours, because maybe the first 200 kilometers were not so bad. It was all interstate, like 4-lane highway. But then once you start going on these 2-lane roads, there's lights, there's small towns, and I was surprised to see that there's so many people live here, because there was a huge lake there, you know, just north of Quebec City, like 2 or 3 hours on the right. I was driving, and it was like, I don't know, for half an hour there was a lake, and I couldn't see the other shore. You know, it was humongous, kind of like our Baikal in Russia, you know, like huge. And there's lots of people here, and now it's not that bad, except for the bugs, but I wonder what they do here in winter, because it should be very cold, because this is really northern part of Quebec. So, but you see, yeah, there's a typical vacationing people here with boats and campers, stuff like that. So, and today's what? Today's Tuesday. So basically, this is everybody's on vacation. Except me and maybe that guy over there with an excavator. Oh, and there's also, check out that guy, Kenworth. Look at the front axle. I can tell it's more than 12,000 pounds. I don't know why I like those heavy axles. And some people don't have enough money for a car, so they just drive bikes. So. But it definitely helps when you know a couple of words in French. So I learned, well, I knew it, but at least now I practice, you know, pronouncing it correctly. Merci, thank you, au revoir, bye-bye, you know, goodbye. And then I know ouvert, open, because I see that sign all the time, you know, ouvert on the store. And I asked the guy that was unloading me here at the farm, I said, restaurant, this one. I said, ouvert? And the guy says, yeah, oui, ouvert, open. So I had that wonderful chicken salad. So, you know. So you never know what you're gonna get at a typical Canadian truck stop. And check out my windshield. I don't know if you can see it, but it's all covered in bugs. See all this dirt? I killed a whole bunch of bugs here. Oh, I know. So maybe that's why they're all attacking me, because they know I killed a lot of their buddies. you know, and they're even here, see? Jesus. I don't know how I'm gonna sleep here. But at least they're not mosquitoes, that's what I... See, check this. Awful. I don't know. I think the government of Quebec here, they should, you know, pay people to come here, because this is unbelievable. I never saw so many bugs in my life. Well, thanks for watching. I tried to log on to internet from here, but it's extremely slow. On my phone, check this out. See on the left? Very low signal. This is Verizon, a Verizon phone, but it uses a Canadian network. I think it's Telus, and because of that, there's hardly any internet. Oh, and one more thing here: lots of logging trucks here. You know, because this is all forests around, so you know, typical Canada. So that's just a quick story for you guys about Dore, Quebec, and my local adventures here. Thanks for watching. Be safe. By the way, here's a little geography lesson for those that are not too familiar with northern Quebec. Now here's Maine, US. Somewhere here you see Bangor. Where is it? So basically it's I-95. You see there? That's civilization, right? Then here you can cross into Montreal on I-87. And these are all interstates 40 and 20, and this is Quebec City, something like this. And this is the border. See this line here? That's the border between the province of New Brunswick, Canada, and Quebec, Canada. So it's still Canada, but it's a different province. So my first delivery of these parts was in this town here. Hello. Oh my god, I just left my I lost my connection. Come on, let's do it. Actually, the signal is pretty strong, but it's just that the connection here is really... See? Okay. Here we go. So the connection here is pretty unreliable. It's very slow because I'm at the middle of some tundra here in northern Quebec. So yeah, my first unload was in near Cabano, Quebec, a small town just north of New Brunswick border. Yeah, somewhere here near this big lake here, right? And then my next delivery was over here. See, there's a big lake here called Lac Saint-Jean, and of course French put everything backwards, so you know, usually they put attributes after the noun. So what they're trying to say is that Saint John Lake, and there's a small town somewhere here. Yeah, La Dore. That was my next final delivery. And check this out, right? So this La Dore is here near this humongous lake, and I'm here. Now guess how many bridges are on this St. Lawrence River? If you said none, you were correct. So I had to drive over here to this Rivière de Loup, which I think means what is it, like the loop of rivers or something? And all over here it's all interstate, autoroute 20, and then go to Quebec City. And then here there's this is all interstate 73, like 4-lane, very nice highway. And then it turns into I-75. It's still freeway. And then you hit this thing, and from here it becomes 2-lane. And then here you drive to you know, over there to on 169, and this lake is monstrous. Like, the views were unbelievable, I'm telling you. Like, the only reason I did not shoot him with my dash cam is because the lake was on my right. But what I'm trying to say is that I had to do a huge detour because there's no bridges here. Like, when they give you this, you know, when agents give you loads like this, they don't tell you, they omit to tell you this little thing that, okay, so the stop 1 is here and stop 2 is here, and the distance is like 200 miles. What they don't tell you is that you have to drive like this, and that's 350 miles, you know. And then when you're done here, what do you do? Like, there's no loads here, right? So you have to drive down, either down to you know, like a big city of Quebec. Well, actually, right now I was looking at our load board, and there were some loads over here for some reason, going to Ohio. So maybe I'll, you know, I'll just luck out and get something from there. But this is like really northern North America. You know, when they say, like, Americans like to say, oh, up there in Canada. Well, when we are talking about Canada, and we are in Canada, we also have that expression, up north. And you see this? Like, because of the river, everything goes up. Like, I live somewhere here in Toronto, and it goes up, up, up. It's Freeway 401. And by the time you're here, you're like, I don't know, what's the latitude here? 60? Basically, North Pole is somewhere here, right? There's Hudson Bay, and never mind. So, but I mean, it's pretty cold here in winter. That's just where I ended up, just to give you an idea, guys. Oh yeah, Baie de Camus, whatever, that's where my next load might be. They said they still have one last load left, and I just give him a call, but it's too late today. It's already 8:23 p.m. But the guy was still answering his phone. Good for him. And he said his associate will call me tomorrow. And yeah, and right now I'm here. I got tired, so I didn't get away from this lake, so I'm still somewhere here in this Dore, Quebec, tiny village of 10 people. But they do have a Irving 24 diesel truck stop, and there's a restaurant, as you saw from my previous video. So, but at least the scenery here is great. Like, the scenery, it's really, you know, breathtaking.